Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Against the Currents. My name is Mia Vasquez. I'm here with
Dan Harris,
Shanti Jamosin,
Valerie Diaz,
and Daniel Suarez.
Today we're going to be talking about quarrels with the technological age, more specifically kids and how much access they have to screens and smartphones and iPads. Me personally, I'm a server. I work at a restaurant. I see a lot of little kids every single day. One of the most disturbing things that I've noticed is that not half, not 75%, not 85%, 99% of the children that walk into my restaurant, from the second they come in to the second they leave, have an iPad like this.
Yeah.
In their face. They don't look up. Their parents order for them. They're really not like, and I'm just like, I don't know. Like, to me, that there has to be certain neurological consequences to that. So, what do you guys think?
I work at a restaurant too, and I see the same.
The same thing, right?
It's like, and I go to like drop off the food, and they're like this.
And they don't even move the iPad.
And it's like, bro, like
like a zombie.
Like where do I put the food? And the parents don't care at all, like either.
No.
Like the parents are like, oh yes. And I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna move. Like I'm not gonna touch the iPad and
it's
move
gonna
it.
have
It's
repercussions
weird.
to the theater. Like the kid, it's not like learning how to
take
talk,
in their surroundings
and
talk.
talk with people, like that human interaction. Like they're
It's
gonna
very
lose
important.
everything.
I'm sorry, if you're 5 years old and you can't sit at a table for 30 minutes, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, you have to learn how to, like, socialize. Like, that's, like, how your brain, your little brain, like, developing. And I think the problem is that the parents do the same thing. Están ahí con el bobeando. And I think that they use the iPad as, like, a babysitter because they don't want to deal with the kids screaming and talking.
Yeah.
They just want to be, like, left alone. So it's just like, here.
Yeah,
Have
like,
here, go ahead. Have this.
I used to work in a preschool, so I saw like the kids are like. It's really difficult to like get to calm down them, but and I understand the parents that give the iPad, but it should take less time to the iPad, because. Let's be honest. We are right now in a technological age, so everybody like has the laptop, the computer, the phones. But yeah, we have to learn how to build a relationship, like a healthy relationship with the technology.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because even us, well, I mean, I remember there wasn't really social media until I was about in 5th grade. I didn't get my smartphone until I was about in 8th grade. And even our generation, we're a little weird. We don't know how to talk to people. Yeah. Imagine kids that don't even understand a world without an iPad in their face.
It's interesting, though. I have, I don't know if I have an opinion so much as I want to share an experience.
Tell us.
My little cousin has a TikTok, and he's 11.
Okay.
He's 11, and he does, like, little edits and stuff, and but exactly, I'm so proud of him. I'm going to school to learn how to edit, and he's on TikTok doing his little thing, like, I'm so happy.
Like what?
Because I feel like...
I'm learning right now.
Exactly. I'm paying for my education to learn how to edit. It's money, my money.
Literally.
And he's...
How old is he?
He's 11.
Oh, he's a little bit older.
He just got into the 6th grade.
But I'm saying, like, yes, it's a good and it's an advantage. Like, now, like, the genie's out of the bottle. Like, we're going to have, like, smartphones and technology forever. But do the pros outweigh the cons?
Well, I was going to loop it into something else. So, speaking of TikTok, I saw this TikTok, and it was talking about how everybody in, like, our generation is saying, like, oh, like, we're going to have our kids on, like, less iPad time, less this, less that. But they brought up a point, which is, like, you remember when, like, you were in a group setting and you would be talking to your friends, and there was that one friend that, like, didn't watch TV. Their parents didn't allow them to have TV, and then they didn't get any of the, like, cultural stuff, so you guys would be making jokes about the backyard games or whatever. And they wouldn't get it because their parents didn't allow them to have it. So the perspective that TikTok kind of brought up to me was like, well, if we say that we're going to be more strict on, like, a child's iPad time, is that going to take away from their I guess, cultural experience when they are communicating. Because it's not like they don't have friends. When they are communicating with other people, is it going to be like, oh, well, my mom didn't let me get on YouTube, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't
I
think that's a
actually
bad
had-
thing,
sorry, go
personally. No, go
Yeah.
ahead.
So I actually had an experience like Ashanti. So there's times like when I'm like walking, like it's during school or like just out in public, and you just see everybody like this. Nobody's looking at you. Like you look up at them, you try to smile, but they don't even smile back at you because they're so focused on their phone. I think that's kind of the direction that we're like going in, or we're already in, where everybody's just so focused on their smartphones. They don't even know how to eye contact. They don't know how to
Yeah.
look people in their eyes for more than 5 seconds. They don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to smile at people.
Yeah.
It's just like they have no emotions, and that's like, I don't personally think it's a good direction to go in. I understand though why people use their smartphones a lot because it's the technological age, like Valerie said. All the jobs you see nowadays has to do with a lot with technology, so it's just kind of like I can understand both sides.
Yeah. We also have like a little bit of like that type of, well, at least me, I have a little bit of that type of like how you say, behavior. For like example, when I go and I eat something, when I'm eating, I'm really like, oh shit, let me put a YouTube. Like I need to watch something. I don't know. It's like
It's natural.
Of
yeah,
course, yeah.
but it's like when I'm in my house or like when I'm alone.
Yes.
It's not like if there is people at the table or if I'm in a restaurant, I'm not gonna be like, oh, let me put a YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I think people use it as a social crutch.
Yes.
Not like so much like their phone is so important that they need to be on it all the time. I think it's more like either I don't want to have the social interaction with somebody, or I don't feel like I have the skill set to have the social interaction with somebody. So I don't necessarily see it as a bad thing because I do it sometimes. Like when I'm walking in the hallways, when I'm walking around here, I'm singing, either like I look crazy because I'm galloping and singing and whatever, or I'm on my phone because I don't want to be perceived. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Agreed.
want people to have an
I
opinion
understand.
on what I just want to be a passing by person.
Yeah.
So I put my head down because if I make eye contact, and this is my personal opinion and I don't feel so strongly about it, but I feel like when you make eye contact with somebody, you kind of register them in your brain. Does that make sense? Like you're acknowledging their presence and I don't want to be acknowledged. Like if I'm just going from here to my car, nobody needs to know that I went from here to my car, so I'm not going to make eye contact with anybody.
I totally agree, and I definitely catch myself using the phone as like a social crutch. My thing is that human beings have existed for thousands and thousands of years without the smartphone, and I think the fact that we have a way now to avoid all social interaction is an issue. Tying back to what we were talking about in like the last podcast, like people don't date anymore because they don't know how to.
Yeah.
Like my little brother, he shared this with me when he was younger. He's like, I don't even know how to go up to a girl. I don't even know how to talk to girls or make friends because he's only 2-3 years younger than me. All his friends he made on Snapchat.
So I heard a comedian say something like that, and he was talking about how like back in the day, he's older than us. But he was talking about how back in the day he would only meet people on like face to face, and now when you would meet somebody on social media, it would be like, ugh, like what do you like them so much you're gonna talk to them on something else like rather than just in person. And how like things have changed. Like now you have to introduce yourself on social media and then you meet up
In person.
But in a way, I feel like that to me makes me feel a little safe. And I don't mean it would make me feel safer than if I met them in person, but like what'll happen in my situation, right? A lot of the people I follow are people I've followed since like middle school, high school. So they're people like either I didn't know well, like we casually whatever. So if somebody like that hits me up on Instagram first and then we talk on the phone and then we link up, it feels like step by step.
Yeah.
It's like our relationship is maturing.
Well, that's like the creation of like
I've
the
done the
new
same, yeah.
dating ritual. That's the new dating ritual in our generation. Basically, you meet on social media first, then you kind of talk, and then you meet up in person, which is just strange because that's never how it's been done
But
before.
it kind of alleviates the pressure, right? Because if I talk to you on the phone and I realize I don't like you, then I don't have to waste gas going to wherever I need to go to meet you.
So true.
That's true. Yeah.
So true, yeah.
Personally, for me, it doesn't alleviate the pressure that much because I've done like what you said before. Like obviously, when you're back in high school, you message a girl that's at your high school, you meet her in person. I still get nervous like when I was in high school, even though I've been texting them for so long and I meet them in person. It's still is I don't know why, but I guess it's just like my personality. I still got nervous.
No, I agree. I still get nervous. Even when I'm anticipating a phone call, you know, from somebody that I haven't spoken to in a long time, or we just been texting, even if I knew them or I know them or my friends know them or however they got my social media, like I know them in some way if they have my social media handle. That's just me personally though. Some people like online friends, and that's a whole other thing that could be cool too. I think it's more like I get nervous for the phone call, I get nervous to meet up, but having that phone call or having those text messages, it's like the first, I want to say test because that sounds wrong, but it's like our relationship isn't solidified until I see you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if we're just on the phone, like I can treat it more casual.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
But the nervousness is still there.
Sure.
Because you don't know people's intentions. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because like we're talking about very much like now. I get more anxiety about the future because if things are already like this now, imagine our kids. Imagine when our kids are our age and they're going to have to... So I deleted all my social media. I don't have Instagram, Twitter, nothing. Honestly, my opinion, I think that's all stupid.
Yeah, I don't have the courage.
And it's weird.
I
I've been cut off from a lot of things. So a lot of organizations and stuff, it's instantly, follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. And I'm like...
Yeah.
Do y'all have a phone number?
Well, but that's the age. Like, there's, even in our field, right? Like, we're production students, and, like, a lot of, like, the job opportunities. From what I know and what I've gathered this semester, because I only recently got into this major, a lot of people want jobs in social media.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's true.
It's freaky that we even have classes on social media.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that there are classes, like, teach you about social media is so
Can we talk
crazy.
about that for a second? I had a professor one time, and he was trying to talk about social media, and he was like, yeah, like, you guys, a new generation, you guys are going to use social media and whatever. No shade to him. He was old. So, so I felt like, okay, although I appreciate...
It was the same class that
yes.
I was?
Yes, I'm not going to say names.
Yeah.
But he was all like, I felt like what I knew about social media had more. And when I say old,
he was talking about Facebook though.
Exactly.
Like, I don't use Facebook.
And so it's funny because my aunt works for Facebook, and she was telling me, which I don't know if I should put this out on the internet, but she was telling me like Facebook was the most popular social media app for a long time. Yes, but now it's TikTok. That's their like leading competitor.
Yeah.
So yes, he was telling us information that kind of felt irrelevant. So on professors teaching classes about social media, I don't know, read a better book. I don't know.
I don't think
be
you
more
need
interactive.
a class to learn about social media.
I just feel like we're more adapted to social media than the people who are trying to teach it.
Because we do everything through there.
I feel like they can be useful in the sense that our current professor is, where he was like, oh, if you post on certain times of the day, this is the demographic that you can reach.
But you can go on your analytics.
Like that, but it does.
You can go technical on the social media, just like our professor, but like teaching, like, oh, this is social media or whatever, Facebook.
Yeah.
What? Like,
we don't use
I have my Facebook,
but I can use a little crash course on how to make a TikTok. Have y'all tried editing on TikTok? It's hard.
It is hard. I think TikTok is like way easier than like Premiere Pro or anything like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever made a TikTok video?
Yes.
That's just easy. You just cut it and stuff, and then the voice effects and everything's right there. It's perfect. That's why the app is like...
It is. I feel like it's a good introduction to stuff like Premiere. Like, if you want to get into Premiere, try making a TikTok.
Yeah, a TikTok video.
But there are really professionals in TikTok.
Oh, yeah. People that make, like, crazy videos on TikTok.
It is crazy.
But to me, the only advantage of this stuff is, like, its ability to market. The only reason why we're learning about social media is because we're eventually going to have to use it to market ourselves and our business. Mm-hmm. But on a personal standpoint, like, this is why I deleted all this stuff. Because I was like, okay, why am I posting pictures of myself on Instagram? For who?
Get people
but it's for you. Well, I mean, I've done the deep dive into that as well. And the reason why I won't delete social media is because I like being connected to people I'm not connected to all the time. Like, my best friends live in Orlando. And so we might not be able to get the chance to call every day, but best believe my best friend is telling me all his opinions and his close friends. Oh, can you believe that he when he you know? Yeah. So in a way, it feels like I'm connected to people that I'm not, whatever with. And then the reason why I post pictures is because I like it. You know, like I want to, if I want to, okay, this is complicated because goes into how I view art. If I view myself in an image as an art form, then what's the difference between that and like displaying it in a museum? Like,
I agree. I like that. I like that analysis of things. I think I just have like I'm kind of like, me and my family have like an antisocial gene. So all the people that I like interact with are kind of like the same as me. Like they don't really use that stuff anyway. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, why am I posting all this information about myself on the internet so that like I don't like the idea of people having so much access to me. I kind of like being elusive. Like, I don't know. Like, the fact that, like, so many people... Like, I'm not talking about you specifically, but, like, there are people that post every single second of their lives on Instagram. Yeah. They're posting their food. They're posting when they go to the movies. Why?
Yeah.
Now, all these people just know what you're doing. Like, it's kind of weird. It's kind of eerie.
Sometimes yeah, but really you can be, like, private on social media.
Yeah, you totally can. But, again, this is where we are now. Where are we going to end up in 20 years? It's only going to get worse. That's my, like, that's my worry, personally.
Me, personally, I've, like, whenever I talk to somebody on social media and I meet them in person, I've figured out I don't have a deeper connection to them than somebody I meet, like, in person. I talk to them for the first time.
Agreed.
I do not have a connection with them
because if you
all.
meet them in person, that means you guys had some kind of
you have the eye
interaction.
contact. You have the eye contact, maybe the physical touch or something like that. So I feel like I have a deeper connection with them than I would have with somebody with, like, social media. I don't know if, like, that makes sense, but
yeah. Kind of. And on social media, you're kind of creating a caricature of yourself. You're only presenting things that you want other people to see. That's not necessarily the true you.
The happy side of you.
Exactly. Exactly.
But then, like, you can, like, post, like, memes and stuff that you find relatable, right? Yeah. And so that can be not necessarily the happier parts of you. Because, yeah, you're right. People only post their best selves, which is so funny because I use Twitter to do the opposite. Twitter is my, you know how people did, like, spam pages and they were, like, their most authentic self and they use Instagram like a diary? That is my Twitter. My Twitter is all of my unhinged thoughts because...
In Venezuela, it's like that, too.
It should be. I don't know. I feel like it's fun.
It's like a diary.
It's like a diary. Yeah. That's exactly what I use my Twitter for. My Twitter is my diary. And on top of that, I have a journal. That's even worse. But, I had a bigger point. What was it? You were saying that people only post their happy selves on social media. Yeah. I think that is inauthentic, right? Mm-hmm. And so I feel like what I'm noticing is that there is actually... I wouldn't say, like, drastically less, but I am noticing people be more authentic. I think it depends on the platform. I think people take Instagram more seriously and they want to, like, be whatever. But, like, people on Snapchat post, like, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like the fact that social media is inauthentic, but I understand why.
Yeah.
Well, people don't want to see, people don't want you to let you in too much, I guess. I don't know. For some people. For others, they don't mind you being all in their business, but for others, maybe they don't want to let you all too in.
I just think, like, if you're going to be you, you know? Like, I agree, and I feel that way about so many different things. Like, I'm not saying, like, you should post yourself on social media crying. I mean, if you feel like that's appropriate, do you. Whatever, right? Because you're not always happy. Everybody knows that. But I think that people, like, use it to make themselves seem, like, different than what they are. If you're posting yourself in front of somebody else's Benz, that's really fake. Like, it'd be one thing to, like, only post pictures of myself when I'm smiling because I think I look cute smiling, and that's, and I don't want you guys to see me sad. Yes, that's one thing. I feel like another thing is, like, just claiming ownership of a fake life. Like, that's a whole different...
But that's what I feel like a lot of people have the tendency to do, because when you post something on social media, you're automatically doing it with the assumption that you're going to be judged. So, of course, you want to present, like, your best foot forward, or you want to, like, make things seem a little bit better than they are, because you know that people are going to be forming an opinion about it.
That's true.
But should you go into social media and posting, like, just... Because you know that people are going to judge you. So what's the point of putting, like, thought to it? Like, what's the point of thinking about it? Why not just post because you want to post? Because you want to share your experience. You
people
want to share
have pride
yourself.
or something. No,
yeah. So, we had some technical difficulties, but we managed to get through it. Thanks to Daniel. Fixed his camera. Perfect.
I put the wrong one, but yeah.
So, we're going to do some closing thoughts. We're going to wrap this up. Dylan, closing thoughts.
All right. So, technological age. Kids, get off your cell phones, please. Go outside. Go out with friends, just like we used to do back then.
Agree. My closing thoughts would be if I was queen of the universe and I could control everything, I would delete social media and the internet and smartphones off the face of the earth. But unfortunately, that is not possible, nor do I think anyone will make that happen. So, uh, learn to adapt, learn to use things in moderation. There are pros and cons to everything. But just like Dylan said, never underestimate the power of face to face interaction and going outside, smelling some grass. Ashanti, closing thoughts.
I think my closing thoughts are going to be similar for almost everything because the more mindful you are, the more able you are to use the resources in life. So social media is a tool the same way that your computer is a tool, the same way that your phone is a tool, same way that your brain is a tool. You have to know how to use it properly to get the most effective, enriching, indulgent, abundant life.
Agree. Valerie, closing thoughts. What do you think, girl?
Okay, so I think that in life, not everything is white or black. So there's a gray part also. So if you learn how to build a healthy relationship with the technology and like the outer space, you should be good.
Perfect.
So I basically agree with what all of you said, which is go out and touch some grass and stuff. But I also have to say that you don't have to also underestimate the power that you can have with the social media, since you can meet a lot of good people as well and make even relationships that can last forever in person, and you can just have like a way to meet them. And I'm one of the persons that have that type of relationship with one of my best friends, and yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please remember to like, subscribe, leave comments, suggestions as to what you'd like us to talk about, and we'll see you next week.
Bye bye. It's time for lunch.
Bye.